Breaking news tonight, just over an hour and a half ago, an unmanned 14-story rocket laden with supplies for the International Space Station took off from Wallops Island, Virginia. And here's what happened.
And we have liftoff of Antares, the Orbit-3 mission that brings Cygnus on its third CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
Nobody was injured in the explosion, but there are reports of property damage at the launch complex. The Antares rocket and the launch pad belong to Orbital Sciences Corporation. The company is one of several paid by NASA to supply the International Space Station. According to Space.com, they have $1.9 billion contract for 8 cargo missions through 2016. This was Orbital's third mission to resupply the ISS. There are 6 people currently on board the space station, and the rocket was carrying 5,000 pounds of experiments, food, and equipment for them. NASA says that none of the supplies on board were urgently needed. Hundreds of people were watching the launch on the ground. Here's what it looked like when the rocket exploded 6 seconds after launch. This was the first catastrophe since NASA turned to private operators to deliver cargo. NASA is characterizing what happened as a catastrophic anomaly, but there's still no word on exactly what went wrong. And joining me now on the phone, Derek Pitts. He's chief astronomer at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. And Derek, tell me what kind of rocket this was and how routine are these kinds of launches? How often do they happen, and how often do they happen without incident?
Well, Chris, this is basically a standard liquid-fueled rocket, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, probably fuel and oxidizer. And these kinds of launches are actually fairly commonplace. It's like launching a satellite or launching, again, like this one was doing, supplies to the International Space Station. And the commercial entities have been very, very good with their records so far in launching supplies to the International Space Station.
So this was a major policy change, if I understand correctly. NASA used to do all of this themselves. They started to open it up for bidding to private companies. When did that happen, and how has it gone? You just said it's up until now, it appears like it's gone fairly well.
Yes, it has gone fairly well. NASA's been working on this for at least the last 5 years, trying to move some of its operations out to commercial corporations to handle this kind of easy resupply work in a sense. When I say easy, what I mean is routine kind of operations of just launching payload up to low Earth orbit. You know, we've been doing a lot of that for the last 60 years in the American space program, and as an unmanned mission, just sending supplies and equipment, that is, again, fairly routine. But NASA has been pushing this off, opening the doors for commercial operations to handle this kind of work because it can be done fairly well by these other companies. It doesn't reduce the risk, though, of what can happen when something happens when an engine component or something else in the rocket fails.
So obviously we're familiar with the sort of catastrophic, tragic examples of rockets that have failed to launch over NASA's history, that have cost the lives of astronomers. Have there been a series of unmanned rockets that failed to launch? Is that something that has happened over the years?
Oh, sure, yeah. Unmanned rockets have failed to launch a number of times, and you can look at this kind of phenomenon all across the spacefaring nations. All of the spacefaring nations have had rocket failures because this is a very, very difficult business. The rockets are very, very complicated. The pressures that they're using, the temperatures of the fuel and the oxidizer, all of those things are right at the limits of how machinery can behave. And so the engineers that put this stuff together are working under the most extreme of conditions. So for every country in the world that's doing some spacefaring, they've had this issue with unmanned rockets. Occasionally, every once in a while, there's, you know, the risk of a failure happening is not eliminated in any case. So there's always a chance that something could fail, although the engineers work extremely hard to minimize those risks and keep that from happening.
Yeah, Derek, just to quickly walk me through. I mean, the basic principle here is you have a lot of very combustible fuel packed into a tight space that's burned very hot through an engine that creates sufficient thrust to get that thing up and out of the atmosphere, right?
Yes.
And because you have that, right, because the pressure and the combustibility is so high that when you have something go wrong, as we see, it explodes.
Yes, that is the case. I mean, you have the fuel and you have the oxidizer. When you mix the two together, that's what you get. You get the explosion. What happens in the combustion chamber is that you're mixing the oxygen and the fuel in a very, very careful, very measured way and igniting it and directing it so that the exhaust is what actually provides the action that then provides the reaction of carrying the rocket up toward orbit. So in any case of any rocket operating anywhere, it's always the same thing. It's the controlled mixture of the oxygen and the fuel, the ignition of which creates the thrust that lifts the rocket.
When you think about it, it's sort of remarkable that we ever are able to successfully pull this off, is always my thought whenever I see something like this. Derek Pitts, the Franklin Institute, thank you.